Hello. This is an unboxing and a side-by-side comparison of the Best Self Journal. I'm very excited. I've had the Best Self Journal since 2018, and it's really changed everything that I've done. I have purchased them. I started purchasing them by fours when they started to offer that because I'm devoted to it, and I have my new set of four here, which is great. And I have already unboxed it, but I thought I would share this with everybody who's a Best Self Journal fan. And I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison because I'm a bit concerned that it strayed from its original purpose. And I don't know if others agree or not, but you can see the box, it's great. I'm gonna show you real quick. I really like the upgrade of it. It's the original's gray. And you can see the orange, really striking, love it. I do like this logo here. I think that's really nice. It seems to be missing. They have it up here. Other than that, it looks great. So I'm going to unbox this one. Ooh, I like how this unboxes. It unboxes like a book in itself. I forgot about that. And it has really good call to action. It has your Best Self tag there that you put inside with your pen. It has your card. They do the navy blue theme. And it has your instructions. And then it has the journal itself, which is fantastic. And this is the original, or this is version 4 from what I understand. I like the gold template too. This is really nice. And it has, I like the writing on it. Now let's look at this one. So it's the new one in the box, that same book, which is great, love it. I love the orange. Then we have our tag. We have a new tag. It's a bit louder than the old one. It has the B on it, which is all right, but you see they've kind of changed the B. It used to be this kind of lettering in the original, and now they've kind of got this serif type thing. Still nice. We've got our cards, which is great. Those are the two. Oh, it has the B there again. This one has the different languages. And then the other side, this is nice. The new one has kind of a blue to it. I like that better. Then we have the outcome goals. Now this doesn't look as nice as I recall. I prefer the other one. I think this one looks actually quite dated. And but I do like how they've done the calendar. I think that's nice. Let's see if the messaging is the same. Plan your goal, take consistent action, accomplish your dreams. I like the original one, this one. I prefer it better than that one, but that's just my opinion. However, I do like what's new on this, which I really like, is you can really separate everything better, and it has quotes on it. And I've always been a fan of the Best Self Journal quotes. The old one doesn't have the quotes. So this is a definite upgrade. I like this, and it still folds out all the way. And then at the end, it has a big reward, which you get. And what we have on the other one is also a reward. The yellow's brighter, which is nice. Again, I like the more modern font personally, but they must have a new creative director. But the quotes are great, so that's great. I love it. I don't have a problem with any of those things. And the guide, and I think that's great. We've got a new guide. I'm not going to go page by page with that. So the box, the only thing that's different is I liked the old box. It was quite nicer. It has a nice feel. It's a bit more exciting inside. The old one is just white on the inside. And you can see this also, the way it closes, it must have a bit of magnetic in here because it kind of just really seals itself. Really good. So of the boxes, I like the old box better than the new one, except for the colors. I like the colors on the new box. And I like the new card. I'm fine with that. And yeah, the calendar, I'm fine with the new calendar, though I preferred the fonts of the old calendar. But the new calendar has the quotes. And again, these are your instruction journals. Very good to have the guidebooks. This one says how it works. That's the original. This one says guidebook, which both are fine. And these are nice to must have always because, as you can see, you always need those. I have mine right here, and apparently I've already lost my pen. No, I was actually just writing with it. It fits in perfectly. There you go, and you can see the way it looks there. That's nice. And this one just says B on it. I kind of prefer the best self, just for the self journal, but the B, the B's all right too. Next up, we are going to look at the journals side by side. So this is the, I call it the original. To me, this is when they've optimized it perfectly. And apparently it's version 4, and this is version 5. So we have the new version, which now includes a ruler in inches and centimeters, and a grid layout, which explains the actual dots of the grid. Then it has all your information, and if you see the other one, it just had that and the information, so there is an upgrade. Though I do have to say I like the yellowness. I like the fact that they have a different color here. I think that's quite cool. But that's good. Started, completed. That's a new addition, property of and contact. So I like the layout of this. The only difference I would say is to have the colored paper inside is quite a nice touch. Self-journal, that looks pretty much the same messaging. And then it has the quick start guides, which we have like-minded community, video content, PDF downloads, similar, not too big of changes. Then we have, we're seeing them side by side because it's a side-by-side comparison. You can pause it and you can look if you want to read the details. Then we have the other page, which hasn't really changed. I do prefer the font on this better. It's more contemporary. This looks like we're kind of going backwards a bit. So don't know why that happened. Again, maybe they changed creative directors. I don't know. Then we go to the next page, which is my goals. Love the goals. They've changed that. So it looks like before we had result goal, progress goals, actions, tasks, and you had 3 sets of goals and your commitment to it, which was great. I really love those, and it took me a while. The first few times it took me a bit longer to really kind of get good goals established. But each time I use a self-journal, I get more and more succinct with my goals. You can see here, these are how I've used it with my goals. I have different sets of goals, and then how I've committed to it and signed it. So I think that's really important because that's the very first thing you see. And that is the original. So the new one, then from that, you would get your calendar, which the monthly calendar, and they changed this from version 3 where I think they had the days on it. So this, they allow you to start it whenever you want, which I think is fantastic, and fill it out all the way. And I mean, it's one of my favorite things because I like to be able to kind of draw different things and have what my calendar is going to be like when there's certain travel, and it's a nice way to kind of get everything going. I really love that feature. I think they really nailed it with that, so it's nice to have a clean calendar. The one thing I do is I write numbers on the side to know which week I'm in. So you can see here, for example, on the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th week, and I've already pre-populated it because I write ahead to see if there's anything coming up, and it works really well that way. And then you go straight into the week, which really, they nailed it because it makes sense. You go into the week and you have your milestones for the week, and then you have the days of the week, which is great. You have Monday through Sunday, which is fantastic. So what I usually do is I will check my monthly calendar for that week and then see if there's anything to add to it, which is really good. Then you have your habits and activities and all of that. And so like a week for me, I'll have looked back and I will have my goals. I always write my 3 goals here, so I always remember them and what I want to achieve on those goals for that week. And then I have different things that are going on. And then I have, I love my habit tracker and all of that, but you can see how the weeks work, which I think is really fantastic. It really makes a difference. It allows you to work back and forth, and it allows you to really kind of keep everything organized, just like they said, which I think is great. Then after you have the weeks, it always starts into the days, which is great. And I've always loved how they do it. They've really nailed it with the balance. I love the 3 bookmarks. I use one for my month, one for my week, and then one for my days. So I can always go back and forth and check. I love how it's just simple. This is the very first thing. I always wake up in the morning and I always check my emails and my calendars. I have 3 different calendars that I look at that are digital, and this gives me a chance to put everything on here in analog. I find it works much better because I've kind of been blind to any notifications that come up on my screen. So this allows me to see what's going on. Then I always reference that week that I'm working on and just make sure if there wasn't anything else that I missed. It's the morning, so I always write what I'm grateful for that morning. I keep notes here, affirmations, other things. Then I have my goal. Then I have my targets for the day. And I love how they've done this gray stripe here with the quote of the day, which I think is just fantastic. Even though I've seen the same quote for, I don't know how many books that I've had, I love it, and it just reinforces it. Then we have our lessons learned, our wins, and I really like the gratitude for the evening because it's nice to balance the two. So they completely nailed it here. And just so you can see, if you're curious, what that begins to look like is, I'll have my day that I'll write out. I have affirmation that I do here, different things to tick off, and what I want to do for that day. And so you can see it's a really nice way. And each day I always go back and I reference, okay, what do I have going on? Oh yeah, it's a birthday, or there's meetings, or there's different things. And so I'll check that when I set my day. I'll see, okay, I had 3 meetings marked in there, and I'll make sure that they are in there for the day. And it works really, really, really well. And sometimes I'll go back and just double check on my calendar for that day and make sure that I didn't have anything that I've missed. So that's really good. And it's great. Month, week, day is how it's laid out. Well, now we have something different, which is fine, which is great. I know that the Best Self company has been doing lots of great stuff and extending their product range, which I think is fantastic. I think this could be a pamphlet or something that possibly is an additional, or it stays in here, but as long as it doesn't take away from anything. So you've got your bucket list, which is great, people to connect with, places to visit, health, finance, work, career, relationship, personal growth. This is getting a bit prescriptive for me, which that's fine, as long as we didn't lose any of the essence of the original one. Then you can see we have our goals. So this is more about bucket lists, 13-week bucket list and benchmarks, which is good. And then it goes into your goals, and it looks like you have 3 goals. That's great. I love that we have 3 goals. And I think that's the most important way to start with this. So let's see if they've changed the goals at all. And you have your outcome goal. Now, they've given you health, finance, work, relationship, personal growth, mindfulness. That's good, I guess. Yeah. It's a bit prescriptive, but I kind of like the open-endedness of the original one. And but it's good. Then we've got motivations. So I really don't know what that's about, but that's great. I guess it's the end result of this goal is important to me to achieve because, so it's probably taking place of that. Then you have progress milestones, critical drivers, and accountability. Now, the thing this is starting to feel like to me is a bit of an accountant's spreadsheet. It seems like we've kind of gone from something that was more open and organic to lots of lines, lots of spreadsheety type stuff. What I liked about the old one is the way it broke down the goals was you wrote your progress goals, so you'd write 3 of those, and then you had three ways to support each of the progress goals, which I thought, when they came up with that, I thought it's brilliant. It just breaks down your goal for that week, and you can almost break it down, or for that 13-week period, into maybe goals that are every 4 weeks that you have to get to achieve that goal. And then, it's the same with this is based on progress goal 2 and progress goal 3. So they've gotten rid of that, which I have to say I really don't like at all. And I think they're missing something because I think they had a real science behind it. I always had my goals that would support everything here, as you can see. And so that's gone. Then they have the 3, which is great. They don't have anything where I commit to it, which is interesting because on the old one, as you'll recall, you had your 3rd goal and then my commitment to it. You can see here, and I really like that. So I'm missing that right now. Now, it's again starting to feel a bit like an accountant spreadsheet. If you see here, we've got a habit tracker. That's great. I really don't know if that's necessary and if it's worth replacing anything, but it's a lot of spreadsheet. Now I've got an Excel book of activity and habit trackers. I don't like this. It stresses me out, really, because then it has completed, partial, and missed, which, again, this to me kind of creates anxiety. And now, as you'll see, is we're missing something incredibly vital, which is we've gone into the weekly planning, and we haven't done the months. So how am I supposed to write down? I like to write down birthdays, holidays, when the kids are in school, out of school, when I have different meetings. If someone says, hey, can you do something in 3 week time on this date, I can look and just write it down right there. I don't have to get out my phone or any of that. I just grab this and write it down, make a note of it, and I'll come back to it. That's gone. There is nothing there. There's a habit tracker, which that doesn't work. And I don't see people's birthdays coming up. So that is really, really not good to go straight into weekly planning. So I've got stuff where, birthdays, I can write ahead. Maybe I want to go to Spain. There is classes that we have that we're doing. There's a parents' evening, which is one of these 2 days. So I went ahead and wrote that down. Different workshop. So this is open because this is October and November here, and we are at September 15th right now. So anytime anybody says anything, do you have any availability on the 29th? I can look and I can say totally free, and I can write something down there. So that is a real big miss, and this really messes everything up for me because my morning ritual is based on my Best Self journal. So they've taken that away. Then I would say, then we've got the weekly planning. Again, they have taken away my 7 days in a week. So we've taken away all the months that you have over a 13-week period. And now it looks like they've taken away the weeks. So we cannot any longer work for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We just have some weekly objectives. So now I don't have a monthly calendar, and now I don't have a weekly calendar. So that doesn't work for me at all. So I'm probably at this point, well, I know that at this point I'm panicking and I have to look at another way to do this. I do have the PDFs of Best Self Journal, so I might just have to use those from now on and get those bound in a book, unless Best Self Journal releases the version 4 again. But you can see it's 3 objectives for the week, event deadlines, other tasks. Again, this feels like a spreadsheet. Look what we had before. Lots of space. You know, we would fill out this portion and then reflect on the week. It does have the weekly reflection, which is great, but it's replaced the days of the week with deadlines, which again, stressing me out. Other tasks and errands. So it really just feels like it's kind of, I don't get it. I really don't get it. It doesn't feel as good as it did before. Again, look at that. So we would have the week that we could plan and we could put stuff in it, and we would have our habits. So now I don't have, I guess my habit tracker is moved, which I always like to create a different set of habits for that week. I don't have that anymore, so I can't do that. So I really don't know what to say, and I'm looking, and there is still, there is no calendar, there is no days of the week. So that really doesn't, and it doesn't have my 3 milestones. I know they'll say that we put it here, but there's something about it just being really succinct. It's just to remind you what your goals are and what you want to achieve on those. I don't need to use half a page to do that. I would rather have that space condensed and my days of the week back in action so I can really get those going. They do have the reflection. What did your key relationships look like this week? Again, this is being prescriptive. Why does it have to be relationships? You know, what I liked before was the happiest event that happened. So that's nice. That could be a relationship. It could be anything. What were your 3 big wins? So that's gone. I think that's really important. When I go back each week, I look through everything that happened on the days, and I map out my 3 big wins, and then my biggest is that event usually that happens. So that's gone. That's not good either. So again, I don't get to reflect. It's not a real weekly reflection. This is just a bunch of lines. How will you ensure next week is good or better? Again, I get what they're saying, but what was wrong with, what was the biggest lesson you learned this week? And before that, how will you improve next week? That's simple. How will you improve next week? You don't have to make good or better. Why not best? Why not super awesome? Why not, who cares? Keep it open. They had a real science behind it. And again, I want you to take note too. They've changed the typography in it. This was much more modern. Now it's gone backwards. And the paper, the paper quality is good. Now, one new thing that they did do is great. They have the perforated corners here, which I think is great. Some people like to tear those off. And on the spine, you can see it kind of shows where you're at in the week, and that's a nice feature too. But again, so they've fallen down on the months and they've fallen down on the weeks. But let's see if we can redeem ourselves with the days. So let's see, we don't have, and it's not even written out. Oh yeah, it does say week 13, really small right there. So then we get ready for the days. Oh, I thought that was a separator page because it was all blank here, but it's not. I'm in the days of the week now. Okay, let's see the days of the week. So the old one, version 4, we had, again, we'd start our day when we wake up and we could fill out everything that we had to do that day. We had this for our notes, affirmations, things like that. Then we had what we were grateful for that morning. Now we have what we're grateful for. That's okay. I don't mind starting with that. They've moved my thing over here, which that's fine, so it still exists. We have today's goal. Now, prior to that, we had my goal was on the other page, okay? And now we're getting everything really crammed in here, because what was nice before when they had the hours a day, you had stuff that could kind of bleed off. So you might have a meeting that you have. Here you could put some notes in about the meeting. Now you can't do that, or if you want to, you're gonna have to go to this big blank page here. We have today's targets. That's the same. Again, they've moved it from here. So they've moved the goals and the targets all on one page. So now it's getting all very crowded on this side and very, very empty on this side here. You can see that they have eliminated what I'm grateful for in the evening, which is too bad. Lessons learned and wins have also been eliminated. So we no longer learn any lessons, which I always think is really good. And we no longer track our wins, our brag zone, which to me is fantastic, because usually I'll have my targets, and if I've nailed my targets, I'll write out, yeah, wow, you know, did that meeting with the client, had a fantastic meeting with the client, sealed the deal, you know, things like that. And then what I'm grateful for that evening is not there as well. And we have our habit tracker, which I don't understand what that is, because it's just a box that you fill in, or a circle that you fill in, so that makes no sense. You are missing the nice quote. What I loved about this, it really gave the quote prominence when it went across the page like it does here. It made it significant each day. It gave me breathing room and I could focus on it. They've now crammed the quote, made it smaller, almost like an afterthought, and have put it up here, which at least it's there. That's all I have to say. And then we've got this mood, and I think it's great. You can have mood and score of the day. Again, that starts to feel aggressive, like that can affect my mood, because then I'm like, okay, I've done horrible, and I did horrible again, and I did horrible. I really don't know the purpose of that. Now, I do think these things are not bad. I'm not saying they're wrong. They just don't work for me and what was set up in the original self-journal. And I just think that these could have been a supplement to it or an addition to it, but I don't think you eliminate from it. I don't think that's good. And what I'm looking at is going to my day this week, and you can see, you know, I've already learned some lessons, I've already had some wins, and I've already, and I just have to fill out, I write my wins as I go along throughout the day. The 3 tags are great, because now I can go to my week, which I no longer have a week in the new journal that works like this anymore. And I can go to my month, which is great, and I no longer have the month to check back on. I do have the spreadsheet they gave me, but that really doesn't work. So the only other thing that I can see that is just the balance is really crammed on one side and nothing on the other side. Really, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the owners are paying attention. I hope you guys are. And then it's has a 13-week reflection. This is new, which I have to say I really like. But there is something too. I really think that's a great addition. But there's something that's missing right before that, which it made me chuckle. And it's this. Yeah. They always reminded you, 2-week notice, get your next self journal, which is fantastic for a couple of reasons. One, you get your new self journal. And the other is that it kind of just really prompts you, like, okay, you have 2 weeks left. Better review your goals. You know, look back and see everything. And we have a blank page there. Then we get back into our days again. And nice quote, really good balance of the 2 pages. I can write everything down, I can make notes. I have my morning and evening gratitudes. I have my lessons that I've learned, my wins. I have my goal, my today's targets, and it's all gone. So we don't have the 2 weeks is to reorder is not there. Just so you're aware, it's not there. So you'll probably forget, and unless you make your own reminder, which I suggest. And yeah, so that's gone, and I think that's a shame. And because then if you get to the end and you totally forgot and you got to reorder, you're really screwed. You can't keep the momentum going. So it really disrupts it. Anyway, great here. I love this, where we get to reflect on the goals. I think that is incredibly awesome, incredibly helpful. I would love to have that into this one. The other stuff I don't need, but this is a real good addition. And I love this. Who should you think? That's really good. Yeah, start doing stuff. I love this bit. Put that in there, but don't take away my monthly and weekly calendars and my day calendar. Don't mess that up. Lots of note pages, which are great. We have some index at the end, which is great. They've got a new pocket. I like that. I think that's awesome. Let's see, the way it ends here is you get your last day and you get your congratulations. Let's see if they gave us a congratulations, because I think that's a really nice way to end it. So it would have been nice. So I would say the 13-week is great, but have the congratulations. There's something about being acknowledged again, which is really important to the science behind it. And I looked at, and then you could have those after it, because I think it's a great way to reflect on it. Now, this just ends with notes, and there is no pocket, but it does have the yellow text, the yellow covering here, which I think is a nice touch. And that's it. Thank goodness they still have a strap, which is great. This is embossed with the best self. That's a B. It's fine. And thank goodness they have the 3 bookmarks. That was like revolutionary. So they've gone from fantastic evolution and a revolutionary piece of science here. I've achieved countless things, be it career, be it job, be it relationships, be it with friends and family, be it with weight loss, everything I have done. I've lost 20 pounds because of this. I've increased my finances because of the Best Self Journal. I have better quality of life because of the Best Self Journal. And now I do not like this. I've already ordered a new one, an older version on Amazon, and I'm going to start collecting the old ones, and in case they do not reprint the version 4s anymore. Because to me, this is quite frankly like new Coke versus classic Coke. And they eliminated classic Coke and put in new Coke, and everybody screamed and hollered, and classic Coke came back. And I think it's a shame. I know that they said they tested it with 1,000 people, which I think is great. I would have made sure I tested it with at least 1,000 of those who order 4 at a time, because those are the people that are really invested in this. I think it would have been good if they put a poll up on their website. I don't have a problem with them changing. I have a problem with them eliminating things. That's the big problem, because now they've eliminated the science that all the articles that you read in the Wall Street Journal and Fast Company, all those were based on this book. You will not have the same impact on this. This is a bucket list Excel sheet habit tracker, which is great. However, it's not the Best Self Journal. It's changed too much. I've asked if I could get a refund. They said I could, but I would have to send the 4 books back and pay for the postage, which is really unfortunate because the books are heavy. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I always gift Best Self Journals to friends and family, and I haven't been able to this year because they've changed everything, and I can't support it until they get the old version back. So hopefully this will help, because a lot of people that buy 4 at a time won't know that it's changed until it could be a year deep into it, and you won't be able to make a difference, because luckily my 4 ran out a month or so after they had changed. So I've kind of caught this ahead of time. So anyway, the Best Self Journal version 4, awesome, highly recommend it. Best Self Journal version 5, really nice, some really great features in it, but it's missing a lot of the things that made real change happen. Those things are gone. So that's it. I want to thank you for listening. I see I've spoken for 35 minutes. I apologize for this. I'll see if I can make a short version too, but this is for the unboxing junkies out there. This is me signing off, and Best Self Journal, please, please, please bring us the original Coke back, the classic Coke. It is fantastic. I'm not saying no to the new things. I'm just saying put them as a supplement. You know, put them in a little book or something that you get with it, a little bucket list habit tracker book. That would be great. You know, would love it. Or put it out there and charge us $5 for a habit tracker book and all of that. But please, please, please bring back your original version 4. This, you guys nailed it, and I hate to see it not happen anymore. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care and achieve your goals.